What is going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I have some sad news, but some good news. The sad news is that it is the last training camp recap of the 2023 season. I loved doing these. These were so much fun. Each day after practice, hopping on and doing the recap. I'm going to miss it. But the good news is the season is that much closer. Things you absolutely adore to see. Before practice got underway, we got some injury update news. Carl Lawson, they are unsure if he'll be ready to go for week one. That he's missed about 3 weeks of practice now. They initially did not make it seem like it was going to be that big of a deal, and he just hasn't practiced. And that is a very common thing with this regime that drives me absolutely insane, is that their timelines on the injuries are very rarely correct. It is just, for whatever reason, they just can't seem to get it right. I don't know whose fault it is, doesn't matter. But the moral of the story is he is in question for whether or not he'll be ready to go for week one of the season, which is really unfortunate. Guy's been hurt, he was hurt his first year, missed the season with the torn Achilles, comes back last year, has a nice season. He's pretty solid last year, didn't miss a practice. Now this year goes down with a back injury, and we'll see when he's ready to go. When he's on the field, I love Carl Lawson, really do. But luckily, the New York Jets have a ton of depth at edge rusher, so if Carl Lawson isn't able to go in week one, they'll be fine. As for Allen Lazard, it is an AC joint, no concern for week one. I would guess, pure speculation, but I would guess that he does not play on Saturday. I would think with just in the past in this training camp and preseason, the Jets have taken things very, very slow with their injuries, and they've been very careful and sometimes over precautious. More on that in a second here. But no issue about Allen Lazard in week one, which is a good thing because the Jets are now suddenly a little bit thinner at the wide receiver position after the Corey Davis news yesterday. So no Mekhi Becton today. He was not in for practice. My assumption is that that it was a maintenance day. The plan was for him to start on Saturday. I would think this is all about the regimen that they have him on. They've taken every single precaution with him. I would think if there was a legit issue, Robert Saleh would have mentioned something before practice today. He did not. So this seems like the status quo, like things are going exactly as anticipated with Mekhi Becton, and that he is in line to play on Saturday and in line to be the starter for the New York Jets in week one. I think there's just going to be times where they take it slow with him, and he's not going to, be in on every single snap of practice. And we'll see how much the first team offense gets in this game coming up against the New York Giants, and we'll see how much time Mekhi Becton gets. If it's just, the first couple series with the first teamers, if he sticks in longer, whatever their plan is, I'm curious to see what that actually is. We'll get a better idea on Saturday, but I am not at this point worried about Mekhi Becton. Dwayne Brown was much more involved in practice today, getting involved in the team stuff, which is great. That's their left tackle. Don't know if we will see him on Saturday. I'm going to guess probably not and say Billy Turner gets a majority of the reps, but glad to see Dwayne Brown back, and he is on pace to be the starter in week one, which makes me, again, feel very much more comfortable with this offensive line with Billy Turner and Max Mitchell on the bench and not starting, because the weeks that they were in with the starting offense, the offensive line did not do very well. But Brown, Tomlinson, McGovern, AVT, and Mekhi Becton, more than likely, unless something very bizarre happens in the next couple weeks, will be the New York Jets starting 5 offensive line. And if they stay healthy, it has a chance to be a pretty solid unit. Joe Tippmann was back at practice today with in the positional drills at least, which is a good sign. He should be good to go for the start of the season. Do not expect to see him on Saturday. They are taking things very slow with his knee, which is completely expected. Again, I don't know if he starts the season. I would guess probably not, but my prediction, I'm going to stick by it, that by the bye week will be when Joe Tippmann is taking over at the absolute latest. I think that's a good time to make that transition. He's been really good. He's been a riser throughout training camp in the snaps that he did get. throughout the preseason. He looked very good with those, and I just think he's going to be someone who continues to get better throughout the year and eventually pushes for a starter spot. Last but certainly not least, we can't go without mentioning the Aaron Rodgers and to Garrett Wilson connection. They connected on a touchdown to end training camp, which I think is the perfect personification of Jets training camp. Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson, something that you are hopefully going to see about 100 times this year for, I don't know, what do you want to call it, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns? That sounds pretty nice to me. Absolutely am thrilled with that connection, and I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for this season, if you couldn't tell, and I'm sure you are too watching this. Hello. It should be a lot of fun for this upcoming year. I can't wait. Just want to say again how much I enjoyed these training camp recaps. These videos did really, really well. I appreciate your guys' support. And I could tell how excited for the season you guys are because the view count on these videos I've done really well the past week or so, which I am beyond blessed and thankful that I get to do this every day. And your guys' support by clicking, watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, all that stuff. The little things, it matters. So I just wanted to thank you guys because your support really means a lot. And I am so excited for another year of New York Jets coverage with you. So just wanted to give you that message before getting out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.